I think in the respect of everybody's time and like, because I don't have a choice about my time for my bus.
Okay.
Yeah. So that sounds good. It sounds like everyone's signed in and gotten their things, so. Mr. Bibbs, can you hear me?
Michael, you still on? Okay.
Can you can hear me? Okay, all right. Okay, so welcome in everybody. Thanks for attending tonight. This is the November Mitchell High School SAC meeting. Usually, mostly for my benefit, we go around and say who's in the room, but we are running late and I think there's few of us and I think the guests are going to be introduced anyway. So thank you, Future Center staff, for coming and presenting tonight. First was the student spotlight, but like he said, we're going to skip over that and revisit it when she arrives. So our other old business actually is the beginning of our new business as well. So we'll dive right into actually our Future Center workforce readiness presentation, which will also touch on the school approach to the response for instruction and how we do that differentiated with different levels. So it's not Miss Lisa. Who is it?
It is Valerie Skates. So I'll kind of do a quick introduction here. Mm-hmm. We're very fortunate this year to be fully staffed in the counseling department, where the Future Center is part of that. And again, we are very happy to have Valerie Skates join the team this year as the post-secondary workforce readiness manager. That is a mouthful. You can have your quiz later on that one. And then we have Lisa Montez, who is also joining us this year, but both are very seasoned professionals and are very good at their jobs. And Lisa is serving as the college and career counselor in the Future Center. And so they are presenting to us tonight on behalf of Future Ready and the Future Center, and how we are preparing students for post-secondary college and career readiness, which is part of our vision at Mitchell High School. It has been part of the vision since 2021 when I took over as principal, and it continues to be part of the vision. And I say part because the first part is making sure that we're establishing trusting relationships among all stakeholders so that we can deliver that first-class experience to our community, preparing all students for post-secondary college and career readiness. So they have been doing a great job with that. And so at this time, you can see the presentation on the screen before you, and all yours, ladies. Thank you.
And can I ask, is the screen shared on the WebEx as well?
The screen is not shared on the WebEx, so no, not at this time.
Is there a way to do that?
If you
log back in, I can share this with you.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. Let's see here. Email?
Yep.
Okay. Bring this down real quick. Just stand by for just a second.
This introductory slide has Lisa Montez's picture on it as the college and career counselor. And then also in the Future Center, 4 days a week, we have Keyshawn Cooks. He was here last year, but he's double the amount of time that he can be here this year. He is a college and career advisor from Peak Education, so they're a partner with us in the Future Centers. And so that was the next slide that you saw. The third slide that you'll be able to see here shortly is the mission statement of all the Future Centers in the district that was developed. And I just made it initial version by saying the Mitchell Future Center empowers students to develop and realize their future plans by providing career and college experiences, offering diverse options, and you'll get to see a list of all the different things that have been offered so far this year, and ensuring they thrive in their chosen path. So we want them to make informed decisions about their future and expose them to as many opportunities as we can so they can do that.
If you want to just hit forward on the down button whenever
So
you're
And I just want to say, with Mr. Cooks in the Future Center, we've been able to do a lot of things, a lot more things, having 2 of us in the Future Center. Some of the other high schools actually have 3 people in their Future Center, but I am so grateful that Keyshawn is here because, like I said, we've been able to do a lot more things, I feel, with him being in the Future Center as well. And we could go ahead and go to the team focus.
Maybe. There we go.
Okay. So this is just a chart. Obviously, we want every student to be successful and every student to have a plan and help them get to graduation and have them have a plan after graduation, whether that be college, going into the military, going into the workforce right away. We have plenty of things to offer for our students. There are many, work-based learning opportunities, concurrent enrollment opportunities, articulations, different certifications that students can earn right here at Mitchell. And then if you look on the left side, those are just some of the other things that we're working on. ACT Work Keys, that's part of the students being college and career ready. And that's something that they have to meet to graduate. ICAP completion, individualized career and academic plan. So we're working with students on that. The students are also working on their ICAP through their Future Ready courses as well.
Oops, sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm pushing the wrong button. Next slide. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So this is an example of everything that we have done during the first semester. So we have different field trips, different workshops that we're offering, college visits, guest speakers. So you can see the examples of everything that we've been able to accomplish just this first semester. We've had several college workshops, we've had our FAFSA night, just a bunch of different things, and you'll see pictures of all the events. But the things that are involved are district field trips. So we partner with the other high schools, and we're able to take some students on the different trips. Like for example, on Monday, we'll have something for ninth graders where they're going to go to Mexican State College, UCCS, and Colorado College. And one of the things that we have tried to do with our field trips and college experiences is that we have something for every grade level. So we have that coming up on Monday, on Tuesday. We're taking a group of 10th graders down to CSU Pueblo. And we've had some different things for 11th and 12th graders. Highlights as far as guest speakers, probation officer, we had Edge credit here, just a bunch of different things. This is the best part of the job because it's fun and exciting and being able to connect students with people, whether it be college or career-related.
And I'll just add on to this. This list, unless you're looking on a screen, as it is being screen shared, but all the way back in September 4th, all the way through now, what's listed up here or represented up here is November 21st. This has been just amazing work in a short period of time. And again, it goes back to being fully staffed, I think, for one, but then also having a knowledgeable staff. The partnership with Peak Education and Keyshawn helps with that, but the district has been more focused and aligned in terms of the Future Center product, if you will, on what's being put out. And so all the way back again from September 4th through now November, every week, and I'll give credit to Lisa and her team, just the fact that there's always something for students to engage in. Yesterday, most recently, Superintendent Gall was on campus and delivered a kind of a military information or stand up about his experience as an Air Force cadet and graduate, and obviously a service member, as it was around the Veterans Day ceremony that was hosted here yesterday as well. So it's just a variety of experiences and exposure, mini peak experiences over the last 3 years. Valerie Jordan in the back has helped lead and chaperone off-campus peak experiences for college exposure, campus exposure. We even have done overnights down at the University of New Mexico, and it's nice now that we're still doing that and more. So anyway, I just wanted to represent, and we're delivering on what parents and students are asking for. So when we hired the new athletic director, one of our parents who were on the interview panel said, I'm really interested in hearing how students and parents can get more informed about athletic eligibility for those students who are interested in participating or competing at the college level. And if you notice up there on October 8th, and again, it's going to happen on November 19th, NCAA eligibility for those potential student athletes at the collegiate level. So we're delivering in terms of the agency piece that the district is interested in pursuing.
Okay, and these are just some pictures. I have a lot more pictures to share, but these are just some of the highlights from our events. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that was our presentation yesterday when Superintendent Gall was here. We see Tony Guy Hairdressing Academy giving a presentation in the Future Center. Down here is the City Jobs field trip that we took some students on. That was a district field trip. We have a probation officer talking to students in the Future Center. We have students that attended college application, free college application night. Construction days. We have some students from UNC. That field trip was just this week. And then on the top left, we have some students that went to T. Rowe Price. They're an investment company here in town. And the students that went on that field trip were really excited. And we got some really good feedback about our students. There was an employee panel as part of the field trip. And the facilitator had a list of questions that they typically use with that panel. And our students were asking so many of their own questions, and really great questions, that he tossed their own questions aside and just said, ask what you would like. And there was even one comment from one of the workers that said, can we keep you here? These are just such great questions. So it was a really, really good field trip. And then another picture there is students at CU Boulder and Colorado School of Mines.
The one picture, I'm proud about all of this. The one picture I'm super excited about, the students wearing the red hard hats. Those are construction students, as we were able to fill our construction position this year and bring back construction to Mitchell High School. So we're very excited about that. Students aren't only putting products out and having that project-based learning experience, but they're also visiting job sites to see that, see their craft kind of in real time. So very excited about the exposure opportunities. Again, it's not only about college and university, it's about career. And so that's something that we really focus on, the three of us up here.
Okay, this is some district data. And this is something that we're really proud of. One of the things that we've been able to accomplish is work-based learning. And these are students that already have jobs. They're able to get high school credit for working. Depending on their job duties, it will be work study credit or work-based learning credit. But if you look at our numbers on the right-hand side, you can see that we are the leader right now in work-based learning. And there, I won't name the high school, but there's a particular student or particular staff member at one of the high schools that was calling our district person saying, how does Mitchell have so many? We have a lot too. And so I think there's a little friendly competition going to be happening with that. And I think that it's just an example of what we've been able to do, because if you've been in the Mitchell community or been around the Mitchell community for a while, you know that a lot of our students are already working. We're just catching them. We're just catching them and we're documenting that, and we're getting them the high school credit that they would earn anyway at having a job. Because as you know, the vocational ACE program is not here anymore. So that's something that, that we worked really hard on. We had some workshops. We met one-on-one with seniors. I asked that question during senior meetings, you know, if they had employment. So that's something. On the left-hand side is our event signups. Students sign up in a platform called School Links when we have all of our different events. So as you can see, we've had, and this is even a little bit old, like a few weeks old, 276 signups for Mitchell. But if you look at like Coronado, for example, they have 538, but they're twice our size. So we're right there where we, of course we would still like more, because we always are striving to improve.
And real quick, Valerie, on the right-hand side there, in terms of the instances of work-based learning, the 39 represents each individual student that is engaged in it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
And there are still more that we will catch them.
Awesome.
Did you want to speak to this?
Oh, sure. So as Ms. Montez mentioned earlier, that a lot of our ICAP activities are happening in Future Ready class now, and we see students engaging more with some of the activities in School Links, and everyone being aware of that. As they get to senior year, this is kind of the culminating year. Hopefully they've been doing things starting all the way in 6th grade up until now, and the things that we really keep an eye on in their senior year, we want them to walk away with a strong resume. A lot of times they don't always know, oh, that can go on my resume, and so we try to coach them to have a resume that they can use for any application, whether that's college or entering the workforce or an apprenticeship. So that's one of the ICAP activities. All along they've been doing interest inventories and exploring careers and keeping a list of ones they're interested in. And this is the time where they're exploring options. And we want them to do multiple applications is better, because then they have a better idea of what their options are, what the true costs are, what the true potential for earning income would be down the road. And so we try to have those individual conversations with everyone as they start to do their applications, get their offers back, and solidify their plans. So we want them to explore multiple options. We want them to apply to at least one or more. That includes military service, apprenticeships, certificate programs, colleges, anything that's post-secondary that's going to continue their learning and their training for a career. We also want them to be informed about finances and knowing like what the true cost of college is. And a lot of times the best way to get that picture is by doing the FAFSA or CAFSA. Either one of those work, and they have to do one of those if they want to take advantage of the D11 promise. So those are the activities. We're actually doing some workshops coming up Monday, and actually every Monday for the rest of the semester, because we're trying to hit our goal of having most of our seniors have completed all of these things by then.
And speaking of the promise, they were here just today, meeting with students. So they were here for a total of 4 hours meeting with students.
We, members of the staff engaged in a self-led IEP. Those are continuing to take place at Mitchell High School as well. I was part of one last night, and the D11 promise came up even for students who receive IEP services. Those students are, you know, because of the work that our special education department is doing, obviously the work from the student themselves and their families, but subpopulations are being encouraged to access the D11 promise as well. So just good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of certificate programs and technical trade training programs, and so even though it's called Pikes Peak State College, we try to inform students, hey, it's actually got so much to offer. Don't just think of it as the traditional 2-year on a path to a 4-year, that, you know, if you want to enter a trade school, Pikes Peak State College really has a lot to offer in trades. So we're on a mission to ensure every student has a future plan and a pathway for economic mobility. And so we wanted to invite you and give maybe a couple minutes for questions or any suggestions or ideas you might have on how we can work better with our families and community with these endeavors. And so I hear someone talking maybe.
It's Co-Chair Bibbs.
Okay. And then I just wanted to share a little bit about plans moving forward. So,
Mr. Bibbs, did you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I had just a question. I said, with them doing all this, that might be the stupidest question I have to ask. But I just, we used to call it back in the day a distributive education program. So while they're in this program, it doesn't go toward their, their credit, like does it help them towards their GPA and that and so forth.
Credit,
I was just a question.
maybe transferable credits.
maybe it,
Yeah, because when we used to do, like I said, I had something similar, but when I was back in high school, so they had something similar to that, but they would gear it toward the children's credit. I was just toward the students' credit. That's why I was asking.
okay.
Was just a hypothetical question.
Sure, there's a few different ways. I mean, when we think about planning for post-secondary, there's concurrent enrollment courses they can earn credit for. There's articulated classes where they're taking the class here, but there's an agreement with Pikes Peak State College that if they get an A or B, they can get college credit for basically no fees. And so that's a good advantage. The other thing is the future planning and the ICAP work is part of our class Future Ready, and they do earn credit for that class as well.
And because that was the fact, and then like I said, if they wasn't doing that, it just gives them more incentive to want, even to work harder in the program. So that's why I was, but that was just a question I was asking.
Right, I hear you. Our students always need extra incentive and motivation. We hope that this opens doors for them in the future, and that's the real reason to engage in the work. It's to have a plan after high school, but we know sometimes getting that credit or having some incentive is helpful.
Oh, thank you.
And another kind of you're bringing to my thoughts, Co-Chair Bibbs, is the fact that we do offer upwards of 17 concurrent enrollment opportunities at the Mitchell campus, and students that engage in those courses don't only earn high school credit, but they earn college credit, university credit that is transferable within the state. So a student that performs well in those classes actually come out of that with kind of like a 2-for-1, if you will. And in terms of economic mobility, what's the average? I mean, that's hard to say in terms of, because different universities and colleges cost different money, but average credit savings for a concurrent enrollment class for the colleges we engage with, would you say? Am I putting you on the spot on that one?
I know it ranges between $1,000 to $3,000, I would say. So, and then just on that note, whenever I hear the economic mobility, I think about our jobs here in Colorado and how 3/4 of them, if you want to earn a salary, a living wage here in Colorado Springs to support a family, you really do need some sort of post-secondary training. So, plans moving forward, we just plan to have more events and more opportunities for students, and as we work with seniors, like I mentioned before, to help them solidify their plans. We want to make sure they're doing all the applications now so they have all of the opportunities and doors open in the spring to make that final decision then. We're not really asking them to make a decision right now. They don't have all the information yet. And we know young people change their minds frequently and life circumstances change too. So we just want to prepare them for multiple options.
And the FAFSA has been open, the federal financial aid form has been open roughly over a month. So that's something that we're still trying to hit hard with our students as well, just in making sure that everybody completes the FAFSA.
there's so many funding strings and sources that just get left on the table because people just simply don't do their research or care to spend their time doing a FAFSA. And there's some there's some concern based upon some of the political climate in the country right now. So we understand that we're sensitive to that. And so there's options for people that are either fearful or they're just not simply planning to go to college at this time. However, even if a student thinks they may be interested in something in terms of college or university, it is highly encouraged, if you're a parent or a student listening, highly encouraged just to go ahead and fill out that FAFSA, because like I said, there is a lot of dollars that get left on the table every year that can be provided to first generation students and different circumstances based on a family's financial situation. Go ahead, Rebecca.
I was looking at your numbers of participants in the Futures Center.
Which slide was it?
Do you break it down by CLDE students and well, I guess my question is there a high interest from the CLDE students at Mitchell?
We don't really track that specific data, but it would be real easy for me to go back and look at that data and see how many.
We know
Because they have to dominate the language in order to get into Pikes Peak State College. Is that is a criteria for them to be able to dominate the language, the English language, in order to enter the college?
they do have to have some level of English proficiency, correct, for to access some of the courses there, a lot of the courses there, to be honest. But we do have, Pikes Peak State College does offer information sessions that are bilingual, and there are students there that are multilingual, and so it's not saying the doors are completely closed. It's just how do we get you to the place where you can be successful there.
So they can still apply?
Yes.
Yes.
Irregardless?
Right.
Oh,
We
okay.
did have a couple of students talk with the person from Pikes Peak State College today about the promise, because she was a Spanish-speaking representative from the college, so I think that really helps too.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you.
And D11 offers, not on this campus yet, adult and family ed program can help with some of that as well. Even for adults, maybe they're not, let's say, high school age students traditionally, but
At Wasson, right?
correct.
At Wasson. Okay.
Adult and family ed program can help maybe be an avenue for that as well, for that subpopulation.
And there are some ESL classes that are specifically offered at Pikes Peak State College as well.
Oh, okay. Good.
Does anybody else have any other questions? I have a couple. So along those lines, based off of our agenda, how do either of these programs, like he said, students on IEPs, are encouraged to apply to Pikes Peak State or to the Promise program. But how does our instructional response and our instructional strategies approach these different diverse learners, especially on tier 2 and 3 of MTSS, blended learners, differentiated instruction, GT, ELL, all of that. So how do these opportunities, what are we doing to level the playing field here in the building with these opportunities, the ICAP opportunities, the future ready presentations, all of that?
So all of those students, all students are in Future Ready, and all of the presentations they originally developed them in Google Slides, and we told them we need them in PowerPoint so that they can be translated, and we can use that feature with PowerPoint. And so the district actually made them all into PowerPoint versus Google Slides, because we specifically asked for that so our students would have that available. And so they have access to the content, and I think it really becomes more individualized planning for students with IEPs. I know that Tom Jacobs and his team works really hard with every IEP, there's a section about post-secondary planning. And they work with students to identify what's going to be the best fit for the next step. Is it the transition program? Is it applying to Pikes Peak? And if it's applying to Pikes Peak, then they are, going to be encouraged to connect with the offices there at Pikes Peak that offer accommodations for students with disabilities. So that's up to a student to disclose, when they get to that college level. And I feel like Mitchell students especially have been taught how to advocate for themselves with those self-led IEP meetings, that they're being coached on how to access the resources that they should have.
But as a freshman, they may not know that yet. We may not have determined the track yet. So as a
Right.
freshman, how do they have the equal opportunity to participate in these things?
They're in the same classes as any other student.
Okay.
The Future Ready
Mhm.
classes are inclusive,
Okay.
and there's a variety of students in
Mhm.
those. And in those early years, they're basically learning about careers and learning about themselves, their own personalities, and how that may match with potential careers.
Do we have staff that are able to go on all these field trips with special ed students?
Yes.
Yeah.
Short answer is yes.
We've had special education students on our field trips,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay,
So,
good. I was also curious, during the Future Center presentations, how does that affect a student's class that they're supposed to be in? How are they scheduled, I guess, and how does that affect their regular class schedule?
most of the guest speakers that we schedule, we try to schedule, and our workshops, we try to schedule them during lunch.
Okay.
And the students are welcome to bring their lunch in the Future Center to minimize the time that they're missing class. Sometimes schedules don't align with that with certain guest speakers, so we will work as best we could, with the guest speaker, but for the most part, that's the first time that we're offering them. If they're available during that time, that's our number one time slot, because we don't want students to miss so much class.
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, you can think about the Future Center offering during lunch primarily, the Future Ready classes every Monday, unless it gets interrupted by a federal holiday or like a staff PD day or something like that, is offered every Monday, the Future Ready class that all students are enrolled in.
And when it is interrupted by those natural calendar things, is it rescheduled for a different day that week?
It gets missed.
Okay.
It gets missed basically, and then we just continue programming the next session. Great question.
Any other questions? I have one last one then. I didn't see any hands, so.
Hey, you offered, so that was nice.
This is more of a counseling center question. For dual enrollment, he said that we have 17 dual enrollment
Concurrent
things,
enrollment.
concurrent offered here, but for dual enrollment, do we have anything offered here? And how does Mitchell compare in the district for both concurrent and dual?
So for dual enrollment, the way we're defining that in the district is students from other high schools coming to take classes here.
Right.
And then we send students from Mitchell to take classes at other high schools. And so right now, the most popular dual enrollment program here is Air Force ROTC. We have about 30 students coming from other schools for that program. And then we have 1, 2 here and there for different things like our jewelry class and the DJ class. I think there might be one more. And so those are a little bit smaller, but we actually just had a conversation about this district-wide on what we want to do next year and how we might want to increase opportunities and make the scheduling and transportation work more smoothly going forward. That has been worked in some cases, but could get better. As far as us sending students, Lisa, do you know about how many we're sending to other schools?
It was actually almost the same.
About-
It was kind of the same numbers. I think it was like in the 30s.
Yeah.
Where they're
We're
going to like
sending-
maybe the culinary
Mhm.
class over on the Wasson campus or different things of that nature.
Automotive, different programs over there.
So you have 30 coming in for ROTC. How many Mitchell students participate in ROTC?
1/3 of our population, so whoever's really good at math, it's 1/3 of 610.
Okay.
There you go, yeah, there's the standard department chair for math right there.
Okay,
So about approximately 200.
okay.
It's by far our most popular program, elective program, which has been the case at Mitchell for maybe
And-
decades.
Concurrent enrollment, we just confirmed these numbers, Mr. Latino and I, with our data processor. We have 109 students taking a concurrent enrollment class. And so that's significant too. You know, that's, where's our math person? 1/5 maybe? Almost of our students, something like that, that are taking concurrent enrollment class. And most of those are here on our campus. There's only a couple that are off campus.
Okay, very nice.
Thank
Any
you,
other
ladies.
ideas or questions for these ladies? No?
All right.
Well, thank you for your work. Thank you for sharing with us and keeping us informed. And if we do come up with any ideas, just send your way. We'll let you know.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we do have our student, if we want to back up. So we have Dr. Michael Lampier. He is also a new addition to our campus this year, English teacher. And we're just very happy. Come on up, folks. And we have Lily and Dr. Lampier. You guys come on up. And then I think we have parents in the back. So thank you for being here. So I'll just kind of... Yeah, please. Yeah, please. I was walking in the hallway. Yeah, please. Anywhere you like. This microphone and this microphone will pick you up, so we're good. Matter of fact, I'll put this way. As I introduced Lily, let me back up. I was walking down the hallway just checking classrooms, visiting with teachers who have had their doors open, and Dr. Lamper was like, "Hey, Mr. Smith, come in here. I got to share something with you. This is really cool." And I was like, "Okay." So I walked in, and he pretty much hands me a paper like this, and he goes, "Read this. This is a project that we've been working on." And I didn't know that it was Lily's piece at the time. I started sitting there reading it, and I'm like, I don't know how long, maybe 5. I'm a slow reader, by the way, too, and it was really good. So it took me a while. So Mike was probably like, "Hurry up." But I'm reading it. I'm getting into it. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." And you'll see why I was doing it. I was like, "Oh." And then I don't even know if I had to flip the page, but I finally got to the end, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I go, "Oh, I didn't expect that one." So she just, with the tutelage of Dr. Lampier in the senior English course here in the first semester, has just done an amazing job pushing students to higher levels. He's what I would refer to as a warm demander. He's a person that is going to hold kids accountable, hold students accountable, but also require their best effort and stretch them to the limits. And I think Lily, I know she has stepped up to the plate. And this is just one sample of her work, but I truly think that she has a future in dealing with literature somehow, some way. Maybe a journalist, maybe an author, who knows, but you definitely have a talent. And so, like I said, you'll see what I'm talking about here, so share your work with us. Do you actually, real quick, do you want to share like what the lesson was about, or do you want to maybe share that at the end?
The quarter one assessment for the seniors is a personal narrative. And I guess I would like to say that I am fortunate to work with students like Lily who are so gifted and willing to embrace the idea that writing is a process and that we're constantly revising and tweaking our work. In fact, just the other day, Lily told me she made a few extra edits because it is that writing process, and to be able to embrace that process and realize it's never fully finished. It's that growth mindset, right? It's about what makes our seniors so amazing, and that's why I'm so thankful that I get to work with such amazing and talented seniors like Lily, because she brightens my day every single day I'm here at Mitchell. So I love it.
Awesome. All right. Stage is yours.
I'm scared, so.
Try not to be.
Okay. When I was younger, there was a long period of time where I lived in a hotel. Living in such a boring, sorrow-filled place, all you can do is watch, and watch I did. From the second-story window, from the side of the building where all the creeps smoked, I watched. I watched through the people as people shoved and yelled and scuffled. Better yet, I watched as people laughed and danced and sang drunkenly up the stairs. Sometimes I would sit against the door, cheek pressed flush against the cool wood surface, and I'd think, does anyone else listen to this? And if not, why am I listening so adamantly? Was I listening as a nosy neighbor or a concerned bystander? Who knows, really? My favorite entertainment, by far, had to have been Frank. Frank flew by one night when I was sitting outside with my stepdad, and I just knew he would be a lifelong friend. A scrawny pigeon, completely gray apart from the green and purple tufts of feather on his chest, hobbled over to us as we sat on the side of the sidewalk. I was drawn to him immediately. There wasn't much special about the bird. He was merely a pigeon, just a twitchy little guy looking for some grub. Maybe that's why I loved him, the simplicity. Me and my stepdad, Espen, sat outside with Frank for hours until the sun had completely set and the cold air had blown in. Frank took a liking to Espen quickly, walking between his shoulders and even trying to climb on his face. He still has a scar running down his nose from Frank's talons. Frankie was such a fun companion, but he was still cautious around me. When I woke up for school the next morning, Frank was still there. He sat outside on the sidewalk, picking at bugs and gunk on the cement. I was elated. I couldn't believe he was still there. The entire day at school, I anxiously thought about Frank, praying he would still be there when I got back. I rushed back to the hotel after school, but when I got there, he was gone. Later that night, I sat outside with Espen while he smoked, and Frank came back around the corner. I nearly cried. I was so happy. That night, I decided I wanted to hold Frank, bird flu and all. For hours, I sat next to him on the sidewalk, just waiting, trying to get a grasp on how he felt. Eventually, he hopped up into my lap and stood on my leg. Now I know everyone expects a dramatic... Sorry. Oh, he jumped up into my lap and burrowed into my warmth, but that bird was awkward. He looked at me with his big old bug eyes and cocked his head back and forth, just staring at me. I still don't know if he climbed into my lap to indulge me or if he really did want to be held, but regardless, it was a new sign of trust. I remember having to very quietly contain my excitement, looking up at Espen with a joyful expression. I didn't move a muscle, in fear that I'd startle Frank into flying away. In my mind, if Frank could tell that I had positive intentions, he would treat me just as gently as I treated him. I sat outside with him for hours on end for about a week, just whispering to him and petting him, studying the green and purple feathers littered throughout his pattern. I was absolutely infatuated with this bird, with his scrawny legs and his flaky beak. At this point, I was starting to think, this dude's coming home with me. Later that day, my family took a trip to the pet store and bought a 5-pound bag of birdseed just for Frankie and headed back to the hotel. When we got back, we started pouring small piles of seed around the parking lot and waited for nightfall. Around an hour after the sunset, Frank popped up out of the dumpster and waddled back over to us. Now, before I tell the rest of the story, I have to give a disclaimer. Espen was a little bit tipsy. That night, Espen and I decided to sit on the bed of his truck and watch our little pigeon friend as he explored. Eventually, curiosity got the better of us, and we wanted to see if he really was capable of flying. I grabbed a small handful of birdseed to pique his interest, and Espen very carefully grabbed him by his empty little belly and lifted him up. We brought him to a large open area in the middle of the parking lot and prepared for takeoff. Espen looked at me, said, "Ready?" and launched Frank as high up as he could. Our precious bird fumbled up around in the air for a couple of seconds, caught wind, and started flying around above us. Espen and I started hooting and hollering and throwing our hands up in triumph. At that moment, a large owl swooped down and grabbed Frank. This owl takes Frank over to a neon red Conoco sign and plucks all of his feathers off, right in front of us, prepping him to be eaten. I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? Neither was I. If you didn't know, now you do. Owls are predators. They're gorgeously distinguished, gorgeously disguised, highly calculated predators. They could catch a pigeon flailing around in the dim moonlight. They are equipped with long talons designed for landing and for undressing unsuspecting pigeons. Anyway, I watched baffled as one of my favorite creatures killed my newfound friend. I ran over as fast as my little legs could take me to the bottom of the huge metal pole under the sign. I stood there helplessly and I cried. Nature is violent. It feels like nothing is in your control. You can't intervene with nature, just like how you can't intervene with a fight happening in the hallway or a gunshot just a little too close to home. The world is messy and cruel, and sometimes you need to keep to yourself for your own safety. They say protect your peace until you protect it too hard. Who are you saving if you only save yourself? The real moral of the story is, don't buy a 5-pound bag of birdseed if you don't actually own the bird. The end.
That's nice. Good job. Okay, she read it way faster than I did. I was impressed about it. So, but yeah.
Lily,
Scary.
that is excellent writing. The voice that you display in your writing is just exceptional.
I have one of his feathers.
So that was kind of a true story, or
Like, it is a true story.
all the way? 100%. Okay.
He still has has the scar on his nose.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
I meant to bring the feather today, but I forgot. And I'm really upset about it, actually. It was supposed to be like a whole presentation, and I was going to show it to the class.
So, you'll have many opportunities to share that story. Any questions for Dr. Lamphere or Lily in terms of any of our programming, or please.
Lily, I just have to know, please tell me that you are going to do something with your writing skill as a career of some sort, or something.
I hope so. I mean, I write a lot as a hobby.
Awesome.
I'm really critical of myself when it comes to writing. So it's hard to actually keep my own writing. So.
Well, I think that you are very talented, and I would like to read more of your writing.
Thank you. So, I mean, I would like to follow something,
So what are your plans after high school?
I have no idea.
How come you don't have a plan? Look at the Future Center.
I wanted to do interior design or something like that. But I don't have anything solid yet.
Okay.
But I have talked to my counselor a couple times about it. And she knows about it, but.
So are you applying for scholarships?
No.
Because I'm thinking, a lot of scholarships have a writing component, an essay component. And with your writing skills, I would imagine that you would get lots of scholarships because you are such a talented writer.
I've just never really thought about it like that, so I just.
You should.
Think about it.
Lily, you gotta be the pigeon in the air, going for anything, right?
I'm just scared of rejection.
The world is messy, sister. You gotta have rejection before you can have joy. So I have a question. Actually, so please tell me, did you enter that piece or any piece in the PTA Reflections Fine Arts Visual Arts contest?
Not yet. It is hot off the presses.
Do you know what that is?
No.
We would be
Dr.
happy to
Lamfield,
find
do you
out.
know what that is?
I do not.
So every year, it's a national program, and PTA nationally has this contest for all fine art and visual art pieces. So everything from literature to dance to any visual and fine art. And so El Paso County always hosts a contest also, and so Mitchell does not have a PTA, but your students can be individual P2 members and be county PTA entries. So again, I've said it at Mitchell for a long time, and I'm telling you again. In the future, you should have your literature students, your writing students enter.
So what is it, like you enter the piece itself or I read
Yes.
it to them?
No, you enter your piece.
Oh, okay, that's
And there's
cool.
different categories for literature. So there's poetry, there's creative writing, there's, I don't know them all, short stories. And
That's
they go
cool.
by educational level. So kinder through third, or kinder through second, third through fifth, middle, and then high school.
Okay.
So you would be up against other high school students first in the county, then the state, and then nationally.
Okay.
So Dr. Landfield, that's a awesome program.
That's
We'll
cool.
definitely explore it.
We'll do
Yeah.
some research on that.
Yes.
Do you do forensics, speech and debate?
No.
Another great opportunity for you. That should be a concurrent or dual course, Mr.
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah.
So,
I think, Co-Chair Bibbs, do you have a question or a comment?
Actually, a comment. I was totally blown away. And you said something about rejection, and just let me tell you something. You keep doing what you're doing, and rejection should be an incentive just to keep pushing more, because when you get rejected, it just makes you better. But the writing was exceptional. Keep doing what you're doing, and you be encouraged, and you keep it going.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Go ahead, Brookie. Thank you, Co-Chair
Lily,
Bibbs.
if you ever published like a series of short essays or anything similar to what you just read,
Mhm.
I would be one of the first to buy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So let us know if you ever do. Yeah.
I will.
Does the English department share possible publishing opportunities for students?
We'll be
The
happy to
national
explore those.
level, the state level, any level?
Great.
I think what Alyssa just mentioned is a good entry point into, I just learned that, tonight, so it's just more evidence, Lily's more evidence that we have talent in this building at all levels, right? Student up to staff, families as well. We have to find stages and ways to celebrate that and get it out there, so.
So is there any interest perhaps in the English department about culling together all of the possibilities that students could participate in and making that available to
Well, we only have,
anybody who might be interested, Lily?
right,
With
right.
2 L's or 1?
One.
Thank you.
We only
Thank you for
have,
asking.
we only have one member of the English department here, but I'm sure Dr. Lanfear will take that back and we'll see how we can get,
Happy to do some research. so,
get students
so
like Lily out there.
I think Lily and I are gonna do some scholarship hunting with some essays, so.
yeah, definitely. That was beautiful.
Would you
Thank
like to introduce your folks?
Yeah, it's Espen.
I was assuming, but you know what they say about that. Yeah.
And that's
and
my
mom.
mom.
Mom's name is
That's Amy.
Amy. Thank you for sharing your daughter with us and giving us the privilege to, work with her, so. Really appreciate that. And thanks, yeah. And thanks for being here tonight. Would you like to say anything, or?
Super proud of you, baby girl. Super proud, so just keep rolling. Just keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
You got my support, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
it was great.
We got another comment or question in the back.
So Lily, I met Lily last year. It was last year we had a one-on-one, and I am so not surprised by what I just heard.
Yeah.
It just like, my whole being just lit up. Hearing your voice, I think, was most important, because I know how shy you can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also seen you be a really good advocate and stand up. So I just want to say I am so proud of you, and I'm so happy that our paths crossed. And whatever I can do as far as research, scholarships, whatever, I'll be more than happy to share with the English department any opportunities out there that I run across, and we try to put something together, we can work as a team, because I think that that Lily is just the tip of the iceberg of what we have going on here at Mitchell High School. So very proud of you, Lily.
I've been like, everyone's been talking to me about scholarships, and they haven't been like pressuring me at all. And I don't want to like make it seem like anyone's pressuring me, obviously. And I've now been starting to think about it. And now I'm like, well, now I should probably think about it.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't want to think about it, but I should. I don't want to think about it because it's scary to think about it, because it's outside of my comfort zone.
So
That's all it is. It's just different, and that's all it is. It was just different. And I tried to do Escoffier, the culinary school, but it was a lot of money. So that was not.
Which is exactly why you need scholarships.
And also, it's in Boulder, and I don't want to go to Boulder.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of opportunities out there, so.
Well, keep sharing your story, because you know what, you know the old saying, like, if you have a question, probably 2 or 3 other people have the same question in the room. So when you share your story, you never know who that's going to touch and in what way, how they can connect and relate. So just keep sharing yourself, because obviously you have something to say, and for a reason, it's a gift, right? Practice makes better. And what do you have to lose? If you don't try, what do you have to lose? Nothing. If you do try, what do you have to lose? Nothing, because you already have nothing, right? So you might as well go try, right? Thank you for coming. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Mr. Lanther, I think you need to tell the Future Center that you would like an author guest speaker.
Work on that. I know a few authors, so we'll make some phone calls.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. You guys feel free to stay,
Thanks
but
for having
if you
me.
need to go, feel free to go. Okay. All right.
And feel free to stay.
And me and Dr. Lanford did guarantee Lily letters of recommendation, so you can guarantee on that, so that if she is interested in applying for scholarships or apply to colleges or universities, she'll have 2 letters of reference from the 2 men up at the front table here. All right.
We're going to take care of her.
Have a good day.
Thank you
Night,
for
I guess I
having
should
me.
say. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one. Don't trip on the cords. Yep. You can go that way. Yeah. All right.
Okay. We've had some good discussion tonight. Does anybody have anything are we good to move on? Okay. So this next piece is a big one, and this came out of the DAC meeting from last week. Was it last 2 weeks ago? Yeah. So the next thing on our agenda is called School Focus on Parent Engagement. And it says here with individual parent support, like I think they're thinking towards student instruction, but it could be parent support for anything, student support for anything. So not only academically, but in whichever way. So at the DAC, we talked about, and this also feeds into the next item, by the way, which is Community Corner. And so we had some community discussion at last month's meeting. So these 2 kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to do this together. So at the DAC meeting, we had some strategy, a discussion, roundtable, just brainstorming about how individual buildings can be engaged in their community around the school building. So not only within yourselves, within the school building, but then outside of the school building in the neighborhood or with community partners for advantages for our students. So the Future Center guest speakers and the colleges are one example of that. But, and we've talked about at the last meeting how the school and the administration work with the apartment management nearby or the church nearby, or I know the kids go to the restaurants, and so I don't know if the restaurants are a community partner for the school for incentives, part of a PBIS kind of situation for our students. But do any of you have any ideas or know of anything how our parents and our school can build community engagement?
Well, I'll jump in because you kind of asked a question there. Yes, we are partnered directly with Canes. If you go into the big gym, a Canes banner is up on the wall. And so that is a partner of ours who does give some kickbacks during events, things of that nature. So that's one restaurant that I can say for sure that we are partners with. A church just reached out to me and Miss Jordan. No, not Miss Jordan, though Miss Jordan's going to work with me. It was actually council member Nancy Hedgem introduced me to a church leader, Larry Deary, who has requested partnership. And so we're engaging in conversations with Larry in the near future as they have just, or they're finishing up a lease agreement in the Citadel Mall. So they're interested in partnering with us and seeing how they can support our efforts. Obviously, the United Way and Karen Share, though we don't have the big food distribution happening on campus as regularly anymore, we are opening up a food pantry right in room 117 on our campus and our ROTC program in partnership with Coronado High School, because they Cougar Cares is a food pantry that they run out of Coronado, and we are going to use their model to kind of get us up and running in our food pantry. So again, United Way, Karen Share, other high schools in the district, and then like you mentioned, the apartments across the street we've actually been able to partner with this year. Just to kind of improve the security and safety in the surrounding area at a more local level.
So that's all really good, and we appreciate that. That is solid, so that's great. What about for feeder schools for future Mitchell students? So we've heard a lot about the Future Center for current Mitchell students. What are some ways, or what are we already doing for future Mitchell students from our feeder schools?
So today we had 8th graders from Sabin come, and they had a tour and all of that. Matthew was actually one of the people who gave the tour. And I talked to Ms. Forget. She was the one from Sabin who organized this and felt it was very important to bring Sabin students to Mitchell. I believe this is the first year that students came to Mitchell. I would like to see that continue. And I would like to see, because Ms. Forget, she's retiring and she's a CTE teacher. So she was the one who organized all of that. So at some point, we need to get our feeder schools and Mitchell together to where our people are planning that and not just one teacher at Sabin. I think we need to get all of our feeder schools here to see what we can do, talking to those students and the teachers who came with them. They were impressed. They're like, you know, the hallways are not crazy. And I'm like, no, they're not crazy here. They're like, oh, and this space is great. I'm like, yes, it is. So if we can get our potential students to come to Mitchell and see what we're all about and to meet some of our students, I think that would go a long way. Because I do believe, and quote me if I'm right, wrong, George, but we have like 1,100 students who permit out of Mitchell. And we need to change that. And one of the ways we can change that is getting our students into Mitchell to see what we're all about and not just listening to the negative narrative.
Yeah, I actually think you're pretty close on those numbers, if not like right on that one.
So another example, I heard that yesterday the theater department put on the play that's happening this weekend for the feeder elementaries.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a great opportunity. And go ahead.
I was also recently talking with our CLDE, Theate Silve department chair. She had an idea that, like, I think just very beginning, it might not work out, but one of the things she was talking about was like taking some of her ELL students into the middle schools to do like reading programs with some of those other students, benefit both our students and theirs, and just a fun little way to reach out as well.
Yeah.
And another idea would be to have like a community event at Mitchell. In the years past, I think like a Halloween carnival was really huge for all the elementary kids. That was a big thing that everybody knew about in the district. Halloween, you go to Mitchell because all the kids and the Stuco people, they planned it, they executed it, they played with the kids. So that was one really positive thing that Mitchell had going. They also used to have a cultural night. Yeah, you guys are shaking your heads because you know, right? So that was a big, huge thing too, you know, as far as Mitchell is doing this cultural night and all the different cultures. And if we could somehow bring in our community, not just for school stuff, but a community event so that they see Mitchell as a positive place to be. They get into our building, they meet our staff, and we build that community partnership.
And what's really nice about those two examples is those can easily involve parents. So whoever's putting it on, the Stuco kids can say, hey, family, I got to do this event at school. Can you come help me run my booth? Or can you bring the car and help run the trunk with all the candy because I have to run around. Because we used to also have a trunk or treat, which I heard rumor about this year and then it didn't happen. But the carnival was huge. And then, so those can involve parents, which more parents that come to more events talk to parents talk to parents, believe me. And they're going to get to know. And so, again, back to Lily and her presentation, our students here could be mentors or examples to middle school students or elementary students with writing. They could be pen pals. Or seniors could even be pen pals to freshmen or freshmen to 8th graders. So we're reaching out to those feeder schools. So there's lots of ways, and it would be nice if all of you would continue to think about that and brainstorm how we can support Mitchell in more parent-family engagement that reaches out to other feeder schools so that we can keep this population going.
I've actually it's just been an idea in the back of my mind because my 3 children are in elementary school, and knowledge bowls are a big deal at their school. And I think because our math department is gaining a lot of momentum and traction, it's been in the back of my mind to start having math competitions ran out of the auditorium where either, maybe we bring on some elementary, different levels, right? But teams can enter in and they can come over and compete for a day doing different challenges mathematically. That's also a big push for Superintendent Gall too, because district-wide our math scores are poor if you actually compare them across national averages. So, I think that's one way to drum up excitement around math in particular, but also bringing students to a school to see what the campus might have to offer, what the staff is doing for students. And we could even maybe run internal competitions at the high school level for some of our students. But that's another idea. So the cat's out the bag. Ricky didn't even know I was going to bring
I've
that.
I've actually been thinking about similar things. Like, at what point do you start up a competitive math team?
Right.
Like, those competitive competitions happen. We've got fantastic students. Why can't we? Why don't we? And if we are doing something like that, those same students could represent Mitchell to our feeder schools as far as like math ambassadors or something. And we absolutely can run something like this.
Stuff like that.
So along those lines, there's chess competitions across the district. So you could just even do like a math day. So you had a principals meeting, right? And I forget who led this, but this was brought up to already, right? This community, reach out to your feeders and how to build community.
Yeah, I don't know that it was really posed in that way, but it was really a depiction of declining enrollment and trying to formulate ideas about how to drum up excitement about community schools. So in that vein, but it was really the presentation that we got in terms of it wasn't a high school or it wasn't a principals meeting. They're calling them lead meetings. That's an acronym for something. I couldn't even tell you what it is, but it's but that's where we got it at, but it was really, again, the district is very transparent and aware that we are just, I'm gonna use the words from Tony Carr, I think he was the one that said, we are just bleeding out students to surrounding districts. And to that end, it was really a conversation about what does your campus offer that can be marketed and win back, again, community families in the surrounding area. And so all of these ideas are things that I think are worth spending time thinking about. We do have Marauder Toy Nation coming up, which has been conducted every year that I've been principal here. We're very excited about that, where we send our student, we don't send, our student council volunteer to get toy donations for new and unopened toys. And then on the day before we go to Christmas break or winter break, they get delivered to the feeder schools, and those kids just light up. So
Yeah.
we're asking local media again, and I don't know if Mr. Short's talked to Marcia about this yet, but asking for that media coverage, both internally and externally, so that people know the good work that we're doing here at Mitchell High School. Also, for the first time, now this isn't set in stone yet, but instead of doing an 8th grade orientation, we are looking at doing an 8th grade discovery day, where I actually sent out an email today to the principal at Sabin, Galileo, and Swaggart to invite them to collaborate with me on how to get 8th graders who are tracked to come to, or not really, to Mitchell High School on our campus during the day, when we can capture them easier than asking them to come back at nighttime. And so this is an innovative strategy that I don't think anybody, hopefully nobody from Coronado, Palmer, Doherty, or which one did I miss? Palmer. Hopefully they're not listening to us. So Matt, don't share this with them. But we want to bring those kids onto our campus during the day, right after our second benchmark test for the SAP, SAT, and SAT. So we have ideas around that, but you're exactly right. We have to show what we're doing more. And today's CTE Sabin visit, yesterday we had Swaggart kids for the matinee that I'm actually going to go watch after this meeting. So it's starting, but we could always do a better job of that.
And so SAC members, sorry, go ahead.
Can I say something about that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, knowing that we have 1,100 students who permit out, and I know that Mr. Gall does not like this idea, but I'm just going to say it anyway, because for the sake of the room, if we were to go to a 4-day school week, I believe we'd get a lot more of those kids back, and I think we'd pull kids from other districts to our schools.
Right.
Just have to say.
And there's a potential there.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna mention that when I worked at Wilson Elementary School, we used to do shadow day for the 5th graders to go visit the middle schools. And then also the middle schools would do shadow day to go visit the high schools. So when I was at Palmer, we had the feeder schools coming in, visiting the school, and then we had the seniors at the high school do a tour with the middle schools in the building. And they were the ones showing them around, showing them all the programs and everything that they would do at the school. So I don't know, I know that Mitchell used to do that, but I don't know if you guys are doing that.
Well, what you're explaining is very similar to the ideas
To
that
what
we
you
have
were
for that
talking
8th
about.
grade discovery day.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to pull this off with the other principals from the middle schools, again, we're going to start with Galileo, Swaggart, and Sabin. Thank you. We're going to start with them. I want to find a way where I can even go to schools in District 2, maybe a middle school in 49, and invite some discovery days with those students as well down the road. But if I can pull this off with those other principals, this will happen on January 21st, which is a Wednesday. of 2026.
Yes, Sharon.
Great. So there are great ideas that have come out this evening, and some of them involve activity within the walls of this school by the staff. So how easy is it going to be for staff to get together and plan for some of these activities for the math competition, for instance, Brookie?
One thing that Mitchell has going for it is we have the use of some flex days where we can get paid for additional time to come in and work for specific things. And if this falls under that purview, maybe I take a flex day, get paid, but work on a weekend to make some of this happen. Do the same with my team members, things like that.
Super.
Yep.
Because it's like
Because it takes time to
the
plan.
fire is at the lake,
Mm.
so to speak. You
Yeah.
know? So, yeah. And also regarding what you all need from this SAC, and what would you like this SAC to be doing? How can we serve? We've asked this question ad nauseum perhaps over the years. What do you want us specifically to do to help uplift Mitchell? What do you need as staff members? What do the students need? What does this building need?
It's a good question.
That was my question,
So-
because you don't have a paid.
So do you have, when are you having
I don't
a
know.
staff
I don't know that I'm the one to answer that question.
meeting? No, but your staff can.
Yes, exactly. I think the one thing I will say is we have been so intensely focused on instruction in the classroom that it's actually, for me, speaking for myself, it is refreshing to talk about other opportunities that are educational in nature, but I would say outside of the classroom. Yes, we are always going to be focused on delivering high quality instruction in the classroom. That's a guarantee that we've made to the community. But to me, just the fact, I think this is another win, if you will, which is our slogan this year, is the fact that we're even talking about this. I mean, I actually wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there was more examples of community partnership that we're doing. But just the fact that, you know, we have willing staff members attending SAC meetings now regularly that are excited about some of this work, like that's a win in of itself. Staff have to be motivated to run some of this.
So
There has to be someone, if somebody's interested in doing a chess club, somebody has to run the chess club, right? Now, fortunately for us, we have Marcia here who does MMTV and our media broadcast. So that's why we have all the cameras. We're able to do this. And apparently we have people that log on and watch the live stream. Brookie's come to the last 2 meetings. She's our math department chair. She does amazing work in the classroom. If she's interested in using a flex day, it's already approved as of tonight. It's like that type of stuff. Like that's what we need, because we are at this point now where administrators are not the only ones attending these meetings, right? There's different people taking students to different heights. Lily, there's kids going off campus, and it's not the project manager who's going, it's actually the college and career counselors or the different counselors that are going, or there's just a ton of different people actually jumping in now like there never has been before. We have to bring more of them to the table that say, what do you guys need? But we have 2 here that could tell you, you know.
And so
type of
that, to me, it seems like is an invitation for really, really open doors and conversations with the staff members.
Mhm.
So that, you know, anybody can, well, first of all, they need to know, maybe they don't know, that the door is open for them to create different opportunities that could invite more and more. I don't know, Marcia and Brookie, tell me if I'm wrong. Are people aware?
I would say that they are. Like, I've heard lots of discussions and good ideas from fellow staff members of like, we would like to do this.
Okay.
And then I think between the idea and the actual implementation, something falls through. But I don't think it's we don't feel like we can.
Right.
or like that door is closed for us.
Right.
I think there's other barriers that I'm not 100% certain what they all are.
So maybe at a PLC, I don't know, maybe you all can just put your heads together and say, how come we're not implementing these things more quickly? Just wondering, what are the barriers to implementation?
So
Honestly, I think, and I'm just gonna speak my truth, I think that teachers are exhausted.
Got it.
And I think asking them to do more, they're not willing to, because they're already exhausted doing everything else. And I
So-
think that's the bottom line.
That then speaks to what can we as a SAC do to help you guys feel less exhausted?
So that's a great segue into our last thing because we are out of time. But I want to say with that the SAC has offered and asked for, or the staff has sort of asked, and we have offered for a stronger SAC presence around school events in the school in general. So whatever you need, this can go back to your school improvement plan, right? So whichever MIA this aligns with, we can support it. So reaching out to feeder schools and building your population can come back to your improvement plan. Supporting you and helping your voice be heard with, hey, we're tired, we want this event to happen, but how are we gonna do it? We're tired. We can help be that voice. And one way that we, the SAC, hope this will help staff feel, or parents, or students, or neighbors, community neighbors feel an opportunity for their voice to be heard is we're gonna add in to the SAC meetings from here on out public comment time. And again, another like raw and real, transparent moment for people, whether it's Mr. Smith or a community neighbor or a parent or whoever, to come and say what I need, or my concern is, or I have heard, or what about what happens if, whatever it is. So we're gonna add public comment time into our agendas from here on out. So, and I had this, and so we're gonna add that. So just be reassured that however we can support you.
So Alyssa, with that, because I'm wondering, okay, people might want to make a public comment, but they don't want to come to the meeting.
Okay.
Is there a way to do? Yeah.
So that is what I have not discussed with Mr. Smith and Mr. Bibbs yet, but I have that thought, so I'm going to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will work on that. Okay.
Could I make a comment before we end? I'm the guest this evening.
Thanks for coming, by the way.
My name is Cheryl Saylor.
Hi, Cheryl.
And I'm on the SAC at Scott Elementary. And I participate in a lot of other meetings that some of these other folks belong to. And one of the other things I do is I'm on a task force for the student-based budgeting. And our most recent meeting talked about the strategy we're going to use to put together a program that's going to be presented for the SAC in January for the SAC workshop. And one of the things we're trying to encourage is teachers and parents to come to that, to learn more about how student-based budgeting works. One of the biggest pieces that the administration at the 11 is trying to encourage is that the schools be creative and think outside the box on how to use money that they might have, because the principals could possibly have money that they can use based on how the budget goes for that year. And they can, with public influence, come up with some creative ideas. So just on this topic, for example, there may not exist such a person, but if you had a half-staff person who could coordinate some of these organizations and competitions that wouldn't fall on the teachers, maybe that's an outside-the-box idea.
I see what you're saying.
So
anyway, I want to advertise for people to come to that SAC workshop. I think it may be the first
Thursday in January, but more information will come out on that.
I think you're talking about like a community liaison person.
No.
So, no?
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay. No? Okay.
But just, you know,
No,
if it's going to take a little funding, you know, that might be an outside the box way to put that money in a place that'll support the teachers, support this, get the enrollment back to the schools.
Yes.
Anyway.
No, I love that idea. I just wrote down a note, staffing for creative position, and we've done some of that, but I never really thought about it in that, you know, based upon this conversation tonight, so that's interesting. When do you think that meeting is again, or where can we find that information?
So the next SAC workshop,
Okay, SAC
which is getting all the SACs together within the district.
Okay.
And usually it's a teaching type of a thing, teach us something about what goes on in the district. And the student-based budget group is going to be presenting
Got it.
that night or day
It's
how student-based budgeting works and give some examples. You know, they're going to have the tool up on the screen and show what a principal goes through in the things that they consider to put their budget together.
Yes.
And then that they have this little bit of money left over, possibly, and they get to be creative in projects or programs or people to add new programs.
Yeah.
So that's a DACA, District Accountability Sponsored event. It is an evening thing, and the place has not been determined yet. Sharon and Rebecca, do you remember for sure the date?
I don't, they said to be determined.
Yeah,
The-
okay.
the site
Yeah,
has to be
because of the
determined.
site, right, yeah. So speaking of
Let's have it at
calendars, you want to?
Yeah,
if you're
I do
willing-
want to.
Okay, well,
Reach
Yeah,
out
we'll
to
host.
Marion.
Yeah,
What's
Mary
that? Yeah,
Ann.
we'll host.
okay,
I love bringing
Okay.
people here.
Great,
Let's do
that'd be
it.
Good,
okay.
yeah.
Tell them we'll host.
So Marion Clausen is the DAC chair.
Okay.
She's who you contact. Speaking of calendars, let's talk about our next SAC meeting for Mitchell real quickly. Our slated date is December 11th. Is that going to work for everybody? Is there any school conflicts as far as like, I think I asked you that already. There are no school student-based conflicts. Is it okay for everybody with the holiday season?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Good.
let's do it. It'll be probably a fairly short meeting. After the holidays, January is when budget talk starts happening. So the next couple meetings after December will probably be budget-based, even for Mitchell. So,
And
excellent.
I spoke with Assistant Principal Brian Blanc, because I see MTSS on here quite a bit. I did kind of give him a heads up that we may ask for him to come and share some discipline attendance data that's associated with MTSS. So just let me know if you want him here either on the December meeting or the January meeting.
So that topic is tabled till next month? Is that what I understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I guess that's up to co-chair Bibbs and Alyssa. If it's tabled till next month, maybe it might be until January, but we'll figure that one out. Okay. Fair to say we're adjourned?
Yes, I'll be
Yes.
there in a minute.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, everybody. I'm
Thank you.
sorry, that was the bus. They're
You're
here.
fine.
Yes, December 11th, 5 p.m.